Good day, folks. Welcome to Week 3, Spring 2021 Financial Statement Analysis. I produce these weekly updates so that you can plan and organize your work, make sure you hit all the deliverables, and give you a sense of timing of what's coming up. The first thing that you should be working on this week in the modules is Module 3, Accounting Considerations with Financial Statement Analysis. Some of you are accounting majors, and this will be very useful as you move in your career in accounting, especially for FAR, and understanding some of the stuff if you're taking 302. If you're not an accounting major, these are important things to consider when you're analyzing financial statements. They all have a material impact on the financial performance of the company and your ability to understand it. So I've picked the ones that I think are most important at the moment. We need to understand there's quality of financial information. There's a lot of financial information out there, but from an accounting perspective, what defines a quality? We're going to take a look at the going concern opinion that auditors can give, and there's a real good discussion out there that we did during the intersession on going concern with American Airlines, and they go through some of the details of the audit requirements for that. I would make sure you do that. The other thing is revenue recognition, ASC 606. In that, revenue is probably the biggest thing we need to understand. Once we understand revenue, everything else relates to it. Cash flow relates to it, expenses relate to it, the balance sheet, working capital. So how we recognize it becomes important. The next one is we're starting to see in financial statements now, and that's leases in topic 842. Leases that previously we considered operating leases and weren't on the balance sheet are now appearing on the balance sheet. So that has the effect of increasing assets and increasing liability. So that's going to impact your capital structure. The last one is business combinations and goodwill. All of these are important to understand because they have material effects on the financial statement. We again need to relate them back to strategy. You should be working on these between now and February 22nd. Just to throw in some interesting tidbits here, I found this chart this week, and I thought it was interesting because we often have heard in the past couple of months that we're in a bubble. Look at what happened with GameStop. And it's a bubble. And what you see, and this is interesting, is that on this time here, where is it? Yeah, here's this line here is we have valuations of equities. Then we have time down here. And this is, quote, smart money, institutional investors, and then the public jumps in. So if you look, here is sort of a trend over time. So at this, it's stealth, okay? It's going up, becoming more aware. You get media attention, then you get enthusiasm, then you get greed, and the new paradigm, okay? And then boom, here's a bull trap. Then you're in denial, fear, capitulation, and you're coming back up. So when you look at a bubble, this is what happens over time, but oftentimes it's because it's running way too fast without the relating earnings behind it or growth potential. So you want to be cautious, you want to take advantage of things, but once you get up into here, this becomes what we might say a riskier area. So that's just a chart that I see in my daily reading that I thought would be useful for you to have a little understanding of what a bubble is. Application project, you are going to be working on a specific company in all three projects. You're going to be doing a deep dive into the company's strategies, financial results, then forecast and value. You're going to go deeper. If you've taken 311 with me, we're going to start there. So you have that information, but we're going to go deeper. Project 1 is worth 12 points, and it's due no later than March 1st, 2021. You can start it once you complete Module 2. You don't want to start it until you do Module 2. I have once you complete the module. I have created a new video that I posted earlier in the week about Project 1. I've identified a couple companies you can choose from. But if you want to identify your own company and work with it for something that interests you, you go right ahead. You just need to share it with me to make sure it's workable. Now, if you really want to challenge yourself, okay, this is a challenge, is Plug Power. It's a little convoluted, but I think it's a fascinating company to look at. So do that. So you do want to plan. This is going to take time. I lay out, I think it'll take you 10 to 12 hours to do the project. So please give yourself enough time. Okay. And let's move on to the current events, our application project, what's happening in the world today, applying financial statement in real time. I'll be sending out, I've already sent out articles to teams throughout the semester. Once you get it, I want you to start reviewing it and start your presentation. It's a presentation discussion. I set up a discussion time. We have 20 of them to do. So I'd like to do them over the semester and not wait until that middle week in April and have to do 20 of them in that short period of time. So the sooner, the better you can get it out of the way. If you're a graduating senior, getting all your work done in advance will lead to a much nicer spring for you and less stress. You need to participate in 5 of them besides your own. And some of you joined us for the CFA presentation on national fuel gas, so you got some ideas there. So that one's underway. It should be in your Canvas grade. Next one is, I'm keeping saying this because it's really hit me when you do the presentation, but as you're doing your project, what does it say? What does it mean? The interpretation. What does it matter? What are the implications? And this is how you're going to go deeper. I don't want you to stop just telling me what it is. I know the definitions, but what does it mean? What are the implications? Why does it matter? So when you're working on both your project and your discussion presentation, keep this in mind. Next thing we have coming up is we have our quiz 1. It's on February 23rd, and it'll be available for you for 24 hours. It becomes available at 12:01 a.m., and it runs to 11:59 p.m. You may start it any time within that period. So I'm trying to adapt to everybody's different sleep schedules, work schedules, school schedules, for you to balance it. It's up to you as when you do it. But once you start, you must finish. It's worth 18% of your grade. So when you take the 18% plus the 21, you take the 12 and the 18, 30 plus getting to know you, 34. You'll have a third of your grade will be done by March 1st, which is just a couple weeks away. We've tried to spread it out so the work is spread out, not hitting you all at the end. So that's the quiz. It'll cover modules 1, 2, and 3. It's a mix of, they're not memorization. You can't memorize answers for the quiz. You need to know what the resources are, how to use the various tools. Any questions? Please feel free to reach out and ask. I'd rather have you ask questions and talk about it before you do some things, but that's up to you. So if you have questions, just let me know.